Alright folks, back for a little bit more of this here space buck action. We need to do some things and stuff. To be honest, actually, all we need to do is expand, because that's where we're at this point in the game. There's not too much special going on at the moment. Other than maybe developing some more manufactured goods on planets. Right now, we're pretty much just waiting for the game to kind of give us the discoveries as far as what sort of engines and shields and such that will be available to us. For right now, we're kind of just waiting on that to happen. I think I did want to push over to here and try to get some of these. I think this, well, like I said, blue is probably going to be our competitor, our big guy. Yellow's not too far behind him, but I think blue's going to be the one we need to, I mean, he's already pushing way out to the edge of the galaxy, so I think blue's the one we need to worry about, so I'm going to try to aim for some of these over here. Negotiate for Russell, which is kind of a weird planet name, but alright. Let's pause for a second. We do need to get another ship over here. I'm trying to remember where our other starport was at. Is that Mongoose? I know I built one over here specifically for that. We'll check. Starport status will tell us. Vector's got one. Vega. And that's it. Vega is the closest one. I guess we can live with that. Now, since we're developing one of those good old-fashioned low development planet routes, I'm gonna stick with the Sparrows. I do need to look real quick though to make sure this will reach to there. Ooh, 4-1. 4-2. 3-6. Okay, 3-6, 3-6. But it still needs to be no 4-1 to get to those from there. Alright, well, not the most efficient way to do it, but I suppose we can bust out a ship with a larger engine. You'll see the Sparrow 2 and the Sparrow 3 are largely different in price range, but we've got cash, so it's not something we need to worry too much about. It's just that we're not really going to make a lot of money on these lower routes, so the ship's going to take a while, or take longer to pay off, essentially, or to be worth the money we're throwing at it. Yeah, I know, I just spelled that wrong. Oh, let's modify ship. You. Oh, I gotta click on it down here. Alright. Exit. Bam. No. Oh, it's, I guess I had to I had to pull out my hammer and stamp the name back in place. Alright, I need to move said ship, so let us take said ship to there. We'll move it to Portia, or Porta. Take the Porta. Ta-da. Alright, now let's pause so I can do a little bit more trading over here. I need to get these planets under my control. Under my iron fist of capitalism. No, not that button. I'm doing it wrong. Adios. Alright, let's get on it. We will spread outwards. And I think I'll just have this circuit kind of run here for now. It won't be, like I said, a very profitable circuit compared to the other, you know, as far as the development level pretty much tells you how much money you're going to be making, or the okay, pretty much tells you what your profit ceiling is going to be, because like I said, it all depends on what your planet is able to refresh as far as materials go, and how fast they can ship their goods out to the next planet or next ship that comes along, you know. Did I get the ship to Russell already? Or no, it's at Portia. Okay, so let's build this route. It's gonna be here. You know, I'm just gonna leave it for that for now, because it's gonna change as soon as I get those other two planets. I have to clear a lot of stuff out because we don't have it. I turned sounds off, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Speech is still on, which is fine. I might supplement a little bit of background music in here just kind of have something to go along with these particular videos. Oh, sarin gas. Surely they are evil. Alright, now we can finish up that route, no, stop it. What? Oh, I didn't hit accept throughout that route, so, gotta do it again. That's fine, because now I can actually complete the proper route, and not some half-assed route. Oh, I guess I'll remove that one. Okay. Let's fix cargo to be loaded again, because I botched it up the first time. There's that planet. Let's see. What else did I want to mention? As far as this game goes, I think you've pretty much covered most everything. I'll get into the exotics, the exotic materials a little later. I'll probably wait until we get some bigger engine types out there, because you definitely need bigger ships to haul it. Eagle isn't bad for it. I mean, it'll work. And I showed you the whole size of that thing last time. It's better than any of the other ships for any ships that we have up to this point for it, but as far as actually trading in mass quantities of stuff, you definitely need to have one of the larger ship types. One beyond the Eagle. I think it's like the Ostrich is the next one. I'll look at them again real quick. After this, okay, let us accept said route. That'll get going. Now you're going to see this particular route is not going to be terribly profitable. Like I said, none of these low development routes are going to be terribly profitable at first. But one, we're still making money off of it. And two, we're cutting into planets that the blue team can capture, can lock down. And eventually what'll happen is you'll get down to the point where there's not any planets left, and you'll actually have to start kind of weaseling your way into planets. And I'll bring up the list real quick. Okay. No. I can rename my company. but I don't want to do that. Where is it? Starport status. It has the meter here that tells you what your planet's light level is at, and how close to the top of that you are. So far, looks like I'm pretty fairly liked everywhere. So long as you're keeping contracts and you're building upgrades in places, you'll be pretty much at the top of this list, or at least up on it. You'll always be liked. So long as you're not, you know, maybe cutting your maintenance fees down, or if you're, you know, failing on contract requirements too often, then you'll start to lose you'll start to lose popularity, and then eventually you can actually lose the rights to the planet itself. It's not very common early on, like at this point in the game, because unless you're just playing real poorly, and if you're playing poorly, you're probably going to not have enough money to expand very far. I mean, there's just no way that you're going to adversely affect your ports so poorly that you're going to really mess that up right away. Or, you know, it's usually that comes into play late game. Once you actually have to start, you know, fighting for territory amongst planets that are already taken. I mean, we could technically we could start muscling in on planets like right now that are claimed, but I mean, it costs a lot more to do it that way than it does right now.
Cannon should rapidly become the standard defense weapon in commercial shipping. It has a fast recharge rate and a target distance up to 7,500 kilometers. This weapon is expected to deter many pirate attacks.
Until the pirates actually get a hold of it, and they use it against you, so if you don't have the best engines or shields, they will blow you up. Is what he should have said. Alright, we need... Now, like I said, it seems like the computer opponents always have a large amount of ships compared to, like, it's 4 to 1. I guess we could build another long-distance ship for those. They seem to have a lot of, like I said, these, like, 2 planet hops, just back and forth between them. I think that's because it actually might help them a little bit more as far as the development level, but at the same time, I don't seem to have too much problem with mine jumping up either. I think, because if you look at theirs, it does seem like they have a lot more 3s and 4s. Ugh. Yeah, I'll pay you off, whatever. Another junk man is pretty crappy. Well, I guess it's something I won't really spend a lot of money on until we get to the point where we need to worry about pirates on a constant basis. Again, that's something that comes into play later on when you actually have to start fighting for planets that are already under control. You know what? I will go up here and check this menu out real quick. The covert ops, you can actually go and you can actually hire the pirates themselves to go and do some stuff for you. Yeah, that shows you the fines if you get caught. There's like a percentage chance that when you get caught, you know, you'll have to cost X amount of money to the super government or whatever, the international planet government, whatever it is, will end up costing you that much more. So if you start doing this stuff, you don't want to do it until later on. These ratings, yeah, see, these will essentially let you knock the ratings down for companies at particular planets, and that's the best way to kind of muscle in on their territory, to get in on their planets. To hire pirates, you know, we'll start harassing their shipping lanes. Boosting your planet's CSI. It's kind of what? Crime scene investigations? Like, no, that's some sort of customer service index, maybe. But that's that little meter, and you can actually kind of just boost it by throwing some money at the problem if you really need to get it up higher. Boost the CSI rating on only your and you can essentially target specific ships. So if I knew a company had a really nice ship that's making them a lot of money, you could aim and have a particular ship like sabotaged or targeted for an attack to get rid of it, because that you'll hinder that one route. And if it, again, this is kind of stuff that comes into play much later game, because you're wanting to take out that real expensive ship that other team just bought that's hauling all exotic and manufactured goods and making hundreds of thousands per run. That's the kind of stuff you want to start tossing that kind of money at. Now I need to start working on some of this stuff. We've got some more planets to take under our wing, so to say. We're going to start up another route. I think that's kind of where we save the money, is by making these larger routes like this. I think I'll make a 6-planet route here with Heiseka, and because again, like I said, we're over that hump, and there's a lot of those in games where once you've got enough profitability to sustain like steady growth, then you don't have to worry about investments like this going south, because you're making so much money back that you're going to be well above where you started at by the time you get this. Like by the time I get this route up and going again, I'll be back up above where I started investing into this venture at. So I will be good to go. Alright, I need to build another ship, so if I'm gonna spring for, well, no, let's stick with the Sparrow for now. I will, however, put some equipment on this one. We're gonna make this a, oh, no, wait, not yet. We are gonna make this a formidable ship. That way, if anybody comes messing with us, we will be perfectly armed and ready to fight them off, or run, or do whatever we want. And we will provoke attacks with our witty catchphrase. What? Oh, okay. If you hear any weird sounds in the background, that's a cat climbing into a cupboard or a dresser, because that's what cats do in this house. Now, I need to get that ship from Vector. I kind of, again, like I said, since it's like just old design, it's not quite as computer friendly or player friendly as more modern design is. But I mean, it would be nice if you could kind of just set this particular ship straight to a route instead of having to move it into a, oh, alright, well, I'm up on top. But it would be nice if I could, just toss that ship into a route without having to move it within range of said route. But again, this game is a bit old, so they probably didn't quite think of that at the time. But or they were just kind of limited in time or scope. So one of those things that just kind of, oh man, no fuel zone. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that where, you know, if there was a more modern version of this, they would. That's the kind of tweaks that you would make in the game. You would find where, man, everybody has fuel. Everybody has fuel. You would want to kind of iron out an easier way to add ships to routes and track all ships at once, or, you know, those sorts of things. Oh man, nothing there. One whole person. So I see a lot of these planets are probably going to be trading some chemicals at some point, just because that's a lot of, you know, goods that are just kind of sitting here on this route doing nothing. And yeah, you could theoretically make another ship to go trade between planets that have fuel to other planets that don't, and make profit off of it. But it's kind of nonsensical to actually make up a route just to trade off these guys' fuel, because fuel is not very valuable by itself. Whereas if I turned it into chemical and just sold it to the next guy over, the neighbor, I mean, I would make more money that way. I mean, again, those manufactured goods do have a startup cost, but it is more of a minor cost as compared to, you know, manufacturing more ships to haul goods around with. Okay, now these ships are, these planets are already trading with each other, so it's not a huge amount of. Let's trade food. People, alright. Again, the game kind of just breaks down to efficiency. Once you get beyond where you're profiting, then it kind of becomes more of a how can you tweak the route? You know, what particular goods are you selling? What ships do you have going? Where, you know, it becomes more of a kind of a timing thing too, because you're kind of checking to see how much resources a planet's picking up and making, and how easily they are able to catch up with the production for the next shipping route, and yada yada. So right now, I'd say it's not a bad route. I mean, again, some of these lesser planets are going to have jack and squat to trade with each other, but especially that one. But looking good. We're looking good. I think we'll call it good there. You can actually kind of see all our ships just barely moving along these routes. So until next time, folks, we will screw around in the Space Nebula. Have a good one.